What if everything you knew was only part of the story?
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Uncharted Thoughts with Alex and Jane. Today, we're unpacking the truth about AI and jobs, sharing real stories and keeping it honest. So grab your coffee, tea, or water, get comfortable, and let's get into it. And hey, if something we say hits you or gets you thinking, feel free to share it, drop a comment, or pass this episode along. We'd love to hear your take.
Think back for a second to the last time you called a customer service number.
Oh, yeah. Always a great time.
Right. You're bracing yourself for the endless menu options. And then you actually hear a real, living, breathing human being on the other end of the line.
It's becoming a genuinely rare experience. I mean, I think most people just expect the robotic gatekeepers now.
Exactly. But the experience has changed, hasn't it? Like, it's not just press 1 for English anymore.
Right.
You're talking to an AI voice that, well, it pauses, it breathes, maybe even says something like, maybe look into that.
Yeah, the simulated thinking noises. It's wild.
It is wild. And while we usually just kind of brush that off as a mild annoyance or, I don't know, a weird tech quirk, our mission for this deep dive today is to cut through that everyday static.
Because it's not just a quirk anymore.
No, not at all. We are diving into a stack of data to look at how artificial intelligence isn't just answering our phone calls. It's fundamentally rewiring the global job market.
That's every single industry.
Right now. I mean, this is not a tech story about microchips. It's a profound shift in how we work, how we live, and really how we define our value in society.
And, the timeline has accelerated way beyond what almost anyone predicted.
Oh, absolutely.
The dominant narrative we've all been fed for years was that AI taking over jobs was this distant future problem.
Like 2050 or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were conditioned to picture sci-fi robots walking into corporate offices decades from now.
But the data we're looking at today just shatters that illusion completely. Like, Goldman Sachs recently released research that, well, it completely stops you in your tracks.
The numbers are staggering.
They really are. According to their data, AI is currently wiping out roughly 16,000 net jobs per month.
16,000.
Yeah, and that is just in the United States. Every 30 days, 16,000 jobs just vanish.
Wow.
It's the equivalent of an entire small town's workforce evaporating month after month. So, this isn't a prediction for the next decade.
Right. This is the background radiation of the economy that you and I are participating in today.
Exactly. So since we've established this is happening right now, we need to look at exactly who is taking the first hit.
And this is where it gets really counterintuitive. Historically, the assumption, like the comfort zone for most educated professionals, was that manual labor would be automated first.
Right, the blue-collar jobs.
Yeah, society just assumed the machines would take over the factory floors, handle the repetitive physical assembly, and leave the thinking jobs entirely alone.
The white-collar fortress, we all just assumed the creative, knowledge-based office jobs were surrounded by this impenetrable moat.
But the reality in these reports is entirely upside down. AI is bypassing the physical world and aggressively targeting the knowledge economy.
Yeah, we are looking at data entry, legal support, medical billing, content creation, and of course that customer service rep on the phone.
And the demographic getting hammered the absolute hardest by this wave, it's not the veteran factory worker nearing retirement.
No, it's Generation Z.
Exactly. It's the young, highly educated office workers. The youngest adults entering the labor pool are bearing the absolute brunt of this transition.
Why is that? Exactly.
Well, there's a very specific mechanical reason for it. Gen Z graduates are heavily concentrated in exactly the types of routine, entry-level, screen-based roles that generative AI excels at automating.
Right, the stuff you do on a laptop all day.
Yes. And these are the very jobs that graduates took on massive amounts of student loan debt to get, precisely because they were marketed as safe, responsible career bets.
I keep picturing the traditional corporate climb as a ladder. But right now, reading these sources, it feels like a broken ladder.
That's a great way to put it.
Everyone knows that classic, incredibly frustrating catch-22 of starting your career, right? You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience.
Oh, the worst feeling.
Yeah. And it seems like AI has taken that catch-22 and just weaponized it. It is literally sawing off the bottom 3 rungs of the corporate ladder entirely.
It really is.
Like, how are you supposed to get your foot in the door when the door is being guarded by an algorithm that can do your whole entry-level workload in about 3 seconds?
You can't. And it creates a fascinating and, frankly, highly concerning dynamic in the workforce.
Right.
While those bottom rungs are vanishing into thin air for new entrants, the workers who are already high up on the ladder, like the senior professionals, they're actually experiencing a massive boom in their own productivity and wages.
I was really struck by that in the notes. AI is actively shielding and even boosting the older workers while boxing out the younger ones entirely.
Yeah, it comes down to a concept called tacit knowledge.
Okay, unpack that a bit. What is tacit knowledge?
So tacit knowledge is that intuitive, unspoken understanding you only gain from years of actually sitting in the seat and doing the work.
Ah, like gut instinct from experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And AI acts as an incredible force multiplier for that specific kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
A seasoned professional knows exactly what prompts to feed the AI,
Right, they know what to ask.
Yes, and they know how to spot when the AI is hallucinating or just making an error, and they know how to apply the output strategically.
Whereas an entry-level worker hasn't built that foundational judgment yet.
Precisely. So AI is dramatically widening the chasm between the seasoned pros who use it as an exoskeleton and the new entrants who are just trying to compete against it.
Man, so if the bottom rungs are gone and 16,000 jobs are vanishing monthly in the U.S. alone, my mind immediately jumps to the global scale.
It's massive.
Are other economies seeing the same hollowing out? Like, we need to zoom out.
Well, when you synthesize the reports from the major global institutions, the consensus is pretty sobering.
Give me the numbers.
The World Economic Forum estimates that AI will replace around 85 million jobs globally.
85 million.
Yeah, and McKinsey's model suggests that by 2030, 14% of the entire global workforce may need to completely change careers.
14% of the world. That's wild.
It gets heavier.
Yeah.
MIT and Boston University project up to 2 million manufacturing workers replaced. PwC estimates up to 30% of jobs could be automatable by the mid-2030s.
Wow.
And returning to the Goldman Sachs data, they estimate that a staggering 300 million jobs globally are exposed to automation in some form.
300 million.
And in the U.S. economy alone, their models suggest AI could automate tasks that currently make up 25% of all human work hours.
A quarter of all human work hours. That is just, it's difficult to even wrap your head around.
It is. But to be fair to the data, we do need to look at the other side of the ledger.
Right, the job creation side, because the sources do point out a silver lining.
They do. The data shows a specific ratio. So while AI substitution is wiping out about 25,000 jobs per month, AI augmentation in the surrounding industry is creating about 9,000 new ones.
Okay, so it's a net negative right now, but 9,000 is still a lot of new jobs.
It's highly significant.
Uh-huh.
We are witnessing the birth of entirely new professional categories.
Like what?
Well, suddenly the market is desperate for AI trainers, prompt engineers, ethics specialists, AI literacy coaches, and algorithm auditors who hunt for bias.
Right, people to watch the machines.
Exactly. Furthermore, we are in the middle of a massive physical infrastructure boom. Running these models requires sprawling data centers.
Oh, true, the hardware side.
Yeah, which generates a huge surge of jobs in server manufacturing, industrial power systems, advanced cooling technology.
So there's a whole secondary economy booming.
Yes, and if we contextualize this historically, whether it was the Industrial Revolution or the rise of the internet disruptive technology always causes severe short-term displacement.
Right.
But in the long run, it historically expands total employment and creates vastly more jobs than it destroys. Research from Boston Consulting Group supports this, pointing out that the majority of jobs won't disappear entirely. They will just change substantially in their day-to-day tasks.
Okay, I am going to push back incredibly hard on that historical optimism, though.
Fair enough.
Like, I read the same historical comparisons in the sources, but this whole, don't worry, the macroeconomic data will balance out in 20 years thing.
Yeah.
That is less than zero comfort to the 24-year-old paralegal or the 50-year-old insurance claims clerk who is losing their livelihood today.
That's a very valid point.
I mean, sure, the internet eventually created millions of jobs, but the short-term pain is the only term that matters when your rent is due on the first of the month.
Right. The immediate reality.
Promising a golden age of employment a decade from now doesn't put food on the table this week, you know?
And that is the essential critique of the technological narrative. The transition period is where the actual painful friction of human life happens.
Exactly.
Economists measure decades, but humans live in weeks and months. Knowing that the total landscape is shifting so dramatically, We have to look past the broad percentages.
Yeah, we need to examine exactly which fields are getting hollowed out and which ones are suddenly emerging as safe bets.
Let's get into the industry shakeup, because some of the fields taking the heaviest fire are the exact careers parents have been pushing their children into for generations.
Yes. Take finance and banking, for example.
Crap.
We always viewed the loan officer as this secure, respectable path.
Oh, absolutely.
But now, algorithms are instantly handling complex loan approvals, executing fraud detection, and doing financial market analysis that used to require entire floors of human analysts.
And the legal field is perhaps the most glaring example of this disruption.
Oh, the lawyers are definitely feeling it.
Big time. Generative AI can now ingest thousands of pages of documents, perform contract review, execute deep legal discovery, and even draft standard motions
In seconds.
at a fraction of the cost and in a fraction of the time of a human worker. And because of this massive leap in capability, major law firms are hiring significantly fewer junior associates.
Because the foundational grinding work those juniors used to do late into the night is now executed by an API call.
Exactly. It's just gone.
We are seeing identical patterns in healthcare and media, too.
Let's talk about healthcare first.
Right, so AI is creating some specialized tech roles there, but it is aggressively automating medical coding, administrative scheduling, and even preliminary radiology analysis.
And what about your world? Media and content creation.
Oh, it's wild. Like, AI can generate perfectly structured scripts, write coherent articles, edit video footage. According to the research, the only true differentiator left for human creators is genuine authenticity.
Lived experience.
Yeah, messy, real human emotion. Like, an AI can write a script about heartbreak, but it hasn't felt it. That's the only edge left.
And if we look at retail, the projections say up to 65% of jobs could be automated.
65.
Yeah, moving from front-of-house staff to fully robotic fulfillment centers and AI-driven inventory management.
Which brings us to the most urgent question for anyone looking at this data. What is actually safe?
Right. And the research consistently points to three main categories of secure employment.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, roles requiring fine physical dexterity in highly unpredictable environments.
So plumbers, electricians, construction workers.
Exactly. Second, jobs requiring deep, nuanced emotional intelligence and real-time human connection.
Like therapists, early childhood teachers, social workers, nurses.
Spot on.
Yeah.
And third, roles requiring top-tier, cross-domain strategic thinking that AI cannot yet synthesize.
You know, I like to call this the prestige inversion.
I like that. What do you mean?
Just think about the incredible irony we are living through. For the last 50 years, society subtly and sometimes overtly devalued the trades.
Oh, for sure.
We underpaid the caring professions. The entire global educational apparatus was designed to funnel students toward prestigious, white-collar, air-conditioned desk jobs.
Go to college, work in an office.
Right. And where are we now? The trades and the caring professions are the ultimate AI-proof careers. The plumber, navigating the unpredictable environment under your sink, is suddenly holding the most secure, irreplaceable job in the entire global economy.
The irony is profound. We are witnessing a complete flip of our societal hierarchy of labor.
Totally upside down.
It's actually Moravec's paradox playing out in real time.
Moravec's paradox.
Yeah, it's the observation that high-level reasoning requires very little computation, but low-level sensory-motor skills like walking or plumbing require enormous computational resources.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
But as we watch these entire industries flip upside down, we really have to look well beyond the economic data points.
Yeah, there is a massive human cost here. We have to ask, who is steering the ship during this transition, and what happens to the people left behind in the institutional vacuum?
Because the psychological impact of losing your profession is devastating.
It is. Work is rarely just a paycheck.
Yeah.
For better or worse, in modern society, it provides identity.
Right.
It gives people a sense of purpose, a place in the community, structure to their day. If we face a wave of unmanaged mass technological unemployment, we aren't just looking at an economic recession.
No, we're looking down the barrel of a historic mental health crisis, fueled by depression, loss of status, and profound social isolation. We actually have historical parallels for this exact kind of societal trauma, and, well, they are incredibly grim.
Like the Rust Belt.
Exactly. If we look back at the manufacturing automation waves that swept through the U.S. Rust Belt in the late 20th century, it didn't just devastate local economies, it shattered the social fabric of entire communities.
Right. Economists directly link that hollowing out to the explosion of the U.S. opioid crisis.
They do. When you permanently remove the backbone of a community's economic stability and collective purpose, the human fallout is catastrophic.
So, given that warning, who is stepping up to the plate to manage this? If we look at government action and the sources, the response is pretty fractured.
Highly fractured. The European Union has implemented the AI Act, which is currently the most comprehensive regulatory approach globally.
Right, heavily emphasizing algorithmic transparency and mandated human oversight.
But the United States government is mostly taking a hands-off approach. They are explicitly trying to avoid stifling corporate innovation, which basically leaves it up to individual states to figure out a patchwork of protections.
So in the absence of cohesive federal-level regulation in many parts of the world, we're seeing corporate action attempt to fill the void, right?
Yes, companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are pouring money into upskilling programs and AI certification courses.
Yeah.
But there is a rapidly growing consensus among labor economists that corporate retraining is simply not a silver bullet.
I mean, the idea of retraining a 55-year-old insurance claims clerk into an advanced AI prompt engineer or data analyst in a matter of months, it's highly unrealistic.
The skills gap is simply too wide, and the timeline is too compressed.
Right.
This stark reality is pushing mainstream economists to seriously debate systemic ideas that used to be considered completely fringe.
You mean UBI?
Specifically, universal basic income, yes.
The UBI debate is suddenly everywhere.
It is. And the sources show that economists across the political spectrum are staring at a fundamental math problem here. AI is generating massive, unprecedented productivity gains, but the financial rewards of those gains are currently flowing almost entirely upward.
To the owners and investors.
Exactly, to the shareholders of the AI technology itself. So universal basic income is no longer just a thought experiment in academic circles.
Right.
It is being seriously discussed as a necessary economic mechanism to redistribute that wealth and, quite frankly, keep the consumer economy from collapsing when traditional labor is displaced on a mass scale.
To be clear for you listening, the sources aren't advocating a political stance here.
No, not at all.
But they are impartially reporting that when UBI becomes a mainstream debate at major financial institutions, it tells you exactly how severely the foundations of our economy are shaking.
Exactly.
And you know, I have to passionately challenge that corporate upskilling narrative, too. It feels like a massive PR push to me.
How so?
Is it really fair or even practically realistic to expect everyday people to magically reinvent themselves in their sparse free time?
It's a huge ask.
Like, imagine telling a single parent whose administrative job was just automated that they need to pivot and become an AI engineer on nights and weekends, all while stressing about rent and groceries.
Right.
It essentially shifts the entire burden of $1 trillion global technological shift squarely onto the shoulders of the most vulnerable individual workers.
It is an immense, arguably unfair burden placed on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, because governments are reacting at a glacial pace and corporate retraining is fundamentally insufficient, the individual worker is backed into a corner.
So you have to adapt.
You are forced to adapt.
Yeah.
This means you, the person listening to this deep dive right now, you need a highly intentional personal strategy to navigate this rapidly changing landscape.
We definitely want to leave you with a clear, actionable plan derived directly from the data.
The sources outline 6 practical steps you can implement immediately.
Okay, step 1. Understand your exposure. Take a brutally honest look at your daily tasks. The more routine, predictable, and rule-based your work is, the higher your automation risk.
But if your job relies heavily on that tacit knowledge we discussed, or physical presence, your position is far more secure.
Right. What's step 2?
Step 2 is to actively work with AI. You need to build your AI literacy immediately.
How do people do that?
There are countless free resources and courses from platforms like Google, Microsoft, Coursera, or LinkedIn. And remember, you do not need a computer science degree.
You don't need to know how to code the neural network.
Exactly. You just need to understand how to leverage these tools to amplify your specific output.
To use an analogy, because, you know, I think the old driving a car versus building a car metaphor is a bit tired.
Sure.
Think of your career right now like moving from being a solo musician to being the conductor of an orchestra.
I like that.
You used to play the instrument yourself. Now the AI is the orchestra. It can play faster and louder than you ever could.
Right.
Your job is no longer to play the notes. Your job is to direct the symphony, ensure they are playing the right song, and catch when the brass section goes out of tune.
That's a perfect way to look at it. And step 3 ties right into that. Double down on what makes you human.
Invest heavily in your uniquely human skills.
Yes. We're talking about high-level emotional intelligence, complex real-world problem-solving, and empathetic leadership.
Step 4 is absolutely critical too. Diversify your income.
Yes.
The era of relying 100% on a single employer in a highly exposed white-collar field is incredibly risky now.
The data strongly suggests exploring the gig economy, consulting, or the creator economy to build multiple streams of revenue.
You want to ensure that your financial survival isn't completely vulnerable to a single corporate algorithm deciding your role is obsolete.
Very true. Step 5. Stay engaged. Pay close attention to how your local and national representatives are viewing and voting on AI regulation and social safety nets.
Advocate for policies that prioritize human workers and ethical transitions.
And finally, step 6. Mindset.
Do not give in to panic.
Right. But absolutely do not allow yourself to be complacent either. You have to adapt proactively before the wave hits your specific desk.
So if we synthesize all of the research, the reports, and projections we've unpacked today, what's the big takeaway?
Well, the overarching theme is actually quite grounding. Artificial intelligence in and of itself is neutral. It is simply a tool.
Okay.
It has the potential to be a profound liberator, eliminating soul-crushing repetitive drudgery so that humanity can finally focus its energy on connection, creativity, and deep meaning.
All right.
Alternatively, it could be a massive divider, an engine that concentrates unprecedented wealth into the hands of a few tech conglomerates while displacing millions of workers into economic despair.
Wow.
The ultimate outcome isn't pre-coded into the algorithms. It depends entirely on our collective societal choices. The greatest danger we face right now lies in the massive gap between our technological capability and our societal readiness.
That is the ultimate choice we are facing as a culture. And we highly encourage you to share this deep dive, talk about these concepts with your family around the dinner table, bring these statistics up with your colleagues at work.
Yes, dig deeper into these reports yourself.
And please, don't be afraid to question the dominant, rosy narrative that is mostly being fed to us by the tech companies who stand to profit the most.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
We spent a lot of time today talking about how AI is systematically wiping out routine, entry-level, rule-following knowledge work.
Right.
But take a step back and think about our entire global education system. Modern schooling was quite literally built during the Industrial Revolution to train humans to do exactly that kind of work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We teach children to sit in neat rows, follow strict instructions, process routine information, and output standardized answers.
Exactly what the AI does.
So if artificial intelligence can now do all of that instantly, flawlessly, and for free, how long do we have before the fundamental structure of modern schooling collapses entirely under the weight of its own obsolescence?
That is a chilling, profound thought. I mean, we are currently training millions of kids for a world that essentially vanished yesterday.
They really are.
It really brings us right back to where we started. The next time you are stuck on the phone, listening to the perfectly synthesized, highly empathetic, automated voice on the customer service line, remember something.
It's not just a voice.
No, that voice isn't just managing your flight delay or your refund. It is the sound of the entire global economy being rewritten in real time.